But under the FCC TCPA rules, you need express written permission for a text to go back and forth, meaning that even if a customer texts a salesperson, they're technically not authorized to text back, and the violators are fined pretty heavily, $1,500 per text. Our system automatically gets that express written permission, meaning even when someone clicks a link on the vehicle listing page or vehicle detail page, an authorization text comes out saying somebody from the dealership wants to text you. A customer texts back yes, and now you've got express written permission archived forever, so you're completely covered under the TCPA rules. Like I said, a lot of dealers are violating as we speak. I don't know of anyone recently that's been nailed, but it's always good to have a system like this as policy. And that way, as Ed said, if a salesperson goes rogue and doesn't violate the policy, or violates the policy, at least you're covered with the policy and the compliant text platform, so that you can go in with that defense and not be violating. They essentially violated your policy, so you're covered. So anyway, we're keenly aware of the TCPA rules. They just broadened them a little while ago, and you'll always have express written permission archived forever in the back end of your system, so there'll be no chance of any violation.
Gotcha.
Cool. All right, so on this website, for example, All American Text or All American Old Bridge, they wanted to have the text chat button floating on the right-hand side of the page. So we did that for them. This exists on every single page of their website, both on desktop and mobile. A customer will come in here, click on Text Us, enter their name, their number, and their question. And what happens as soon as they click on Start Text Chat, it'll say thank you here, but they will also receive a text, which is a secondary opt-in, which asks them, would you like to speak with this dealership? If you agree, please reply with the word yes. When they reply yes, the agent, who is assigned either via round robin or as live support on the account, will get the chat automatically. Now, if that chat happens after hours, it can be arranged and set up in your system where that person, that agent, does not get the lead till the first thing when he gets to work the next morning. So those options are totally open and available for all your agents. We're one of the few text chat companies that offer text chat buttons on the vehicle listing pages and the vehicle sales pages. So if I click on this Ford Focus Electric, the text us, when this text goes through after they fill it out, the agent on the other end already knows what that customer is interested in, so they don't have to text back and forth, what car do you like, what's the VIN? All that's going to be automatically transferred over into the system. Now if I go to the sales page here, you'll see there's a chat button here. We have the general chat on the right-hand side, and we also have the car-specific chat here. You'll see it'll bring up the name of the car.
If I can jump in for 1 second.
Sure.
We're looking at a desktop. This is most effective on a mobile device. More and more people are checking things on a mobile device, and they're not very readily using web chat. They're using text. So when they see the vehicle detail page and they see that text us button, impulse is to just hit it and start a dialogue.
Gotcha.
All right, so this is another example of the vehicle sales page. You can have these placed pretty much anywhere on your vehicle sales page. It's all contingent on what we come up with when we speak to whoever's hosting your website. Sometimes they have it limitations on where it can be placed, like maybe it can only be placed in this top box or under the car. We'll always connect with the web professionals who handle your website. We also offer Android and iPhone apps. Like this is their Android app for the Old Bridge store. They have the ability to, you can actually go to this website, which is Google Play Store, and search for All American Old Bridge, and you can actually see all the stuff that the app does. But they can search inventory, schedule service, view specials, new car appointments, get maps and directions. They can contact with one click, roadside assistance. There's a car finder feature. There's also a flashlight. When they first get into the app, they can rate your company. What this does is transfers over into our reputation management system, and what they do is they leave initial feedback, and if that feedback is 4 stars or above, or 5 stars or above, depending on how you want it set, We can filter out the bad reviews so they never make it to Google. Only the good reviews will make it to Google.
I got you.
The theory is, right, I mean, from an old guy that's been on the floor for a while, right, a customer's never more happy than when they're taking delivery. So what we try to do is encourage a time of delivery. The sales associate introduces that you have your own app, and that it's beneficial for the customer to download it for a lot of other things, including the idea that they can text you directly in service or sales. They don't have to go through the switchboard. But then once it's downloaded, they ask in kind of a non-threatening sort of way, hey, do you mind rating us? All you have to do is hit this button and rate us. Literally takes 15 seconds. Well, at time of delivery, that person's really happy. The chances of getting a 5 are pretty strong. And so we've seen Google ratings actually go up significantly over a 30 or 45-day period because they're hitting the person right at the right time. They get a 5, pushes it to their Google account, and you're good to go.
Another cool feature.
Gotcha.
Another cool feature with our app. It has built-in geofencing and push notifications. So anybody that downloads the app, we can set up fences around your competitors, or you could set up fences around your competitor, and you can set it for any radius that you want it to be. Anytime somebody drives or walks through that fence and they have your app, that'll actually send them a push notification. It could be a dealer special. For example, if you're setting up the fence around like oil change places around town, well, you can actually push a notification for one oil change at your service center before they even pull into that driveway.
That's a good feature. I like that.
Yeah, with the proximity marketing end of it really is kind of groundbreaking. So you can set up as many geofences as you want, as many competitors you want, and push out a text notice, a coupon, right, a visual, a picture, really anything that you want, again, specific to that particular geofence.
Cool. And here we are. We're inside of the actual chat dashboard itself. How many dealerships do you currently run? Just one right now?
I got this in the Mitsubishi dealership. But okay. I know I was talking to my counterpart. All told, about 13 stores in this particular grouping. So I know we were all talking about we need some kind of way to get a hold of our customers a little bit better. So gotcha. I told them I would take point on finding out some information. I saw your company once before, so that's what spurred me to go ahead and reach out to you.
Great.
Yeah. This could be, I'm working with a lot of dealer groups right now. When you take that geofence feature, and
exactly. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been down this way, but in this Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, it is so congested to the point whereas any advantage that you can get, you might well take advantage of it, to be honest with you.
Exactly. And when you're dealing with multiple stores, you can really set up those geofences strategically and kind of blanket an area way before your competition does. Again, we're in the forefront of this. So the front end of the app is very useful for the customer. They can, I mean, the thing that really gets them to is they can bypass the switchboard and text right in. That usually gets them.
Exactly.
But once they have that, the ability to geofence is on your end is very advantageous, put it that way. Imagine if a customer goes into the showroom, negotiates, says he's going home, and hits a competitor, and boom, right? You can also get a message back that they've hit that geofence, so you can ping back a message. So your BDC, I have a little doodle animation we did on this. All of a sudden can just by accident, but really on purpose, call that customer up and say, hey, I was just talking to a manager. I can get you a little more for the trade, knowing where the guy's standing right now, right?
Yep. Exactly. I mean, it's I hate to say it's a no-brainer, but yes, it is.
Okay, so with that said, you guys have obviously several dealerships under your belt, under your group. We do offer a white label text chat system. If you have more than 5 dealerships that you can bring in, this way our branding is never on it. It's going to be all your branding. All you would have to do is choose a domain name. It could be anything that you want it to be, .com. We'll set up the system on there, and then we'll set up all the dealers that are going to be using the system on this, and all you have to do is come in here, and as the manager of it all, you come in here and view all the statistics for every single account live as they happen. Now, for All American Oil Bridge, I'm going to log into there. This is what the admin for All American Old Bridge would see. They see all the text chats that are assigned to them. And also they can come in here and they can click on any one of the agents in here and see all the chats that they're partaking in as well. Now in this panel here, this is the desktop panel. There's several ways where your agent can speak to a customer. Number one is they can log into this system on the desktop and chat this way. They just click on the chat, which they either will get text notified when they reply, or they'll get an email when they reply. It's up to the agent how they want to have that set. They can come in here, see the conversation, put in their message, or choose from one of the canned messages that one of the admins created, and click on send reply, and that'll go right to the customer. And now that chat is conducted back and forth. They're going to see the chat coming from our short code, which is 69696, and every chat that comes in this way from the customer, you're going to be able to see their phone number and all the details about the customer.
Right.
You're able to see all the chat history from every single chat held with every single customer, with every single agent. And you can see the agent who spoke to the customer here. And another example I told you was they can get notified via text chat from their cell phone. So let's say your agent is out on the lot and he doesn't have time to get to the computer to engage in the chat with the customer. Well, he's going to get the notification. There's going to be a link inside of his text chat where he can come in here. Let me put this in mobile view so you can get a better idea of how it would look like. We'll just put this in iPhone mode. So imagine this is your phone. It would look like this. When they click the link, they'll see the conversation, and then they can reply to the customer here, send the reply. Or if you're dealing with service, I'll let John kind of expand into this too. With service, the importance of MMS messaging, where you can send pictures and video and PDF docs. John, I'll really explain like the importance of all this, because we have some dealerships using the service right now, and it's a very powerful tool. So I'll just finish this up on the mobile end here. They can always change the customer information file to get more data about the lead for the end salesman, whoever's going to be closing the deal. Go back. They can send this to your CRM. By clicking this button, they can automatically deliver it, and that'll be placed into whatever CRM that you're using. And this can be done in several ways. We can automatically send it to your CRM as soon as the customer replies with the word yes that they want to chat. Or if you feel that every single lead that comes in needs to be vetted before it can be sent to your CRM, you have that option. Once it's vetted, you can click on send to CRM. Now let's say this customer texted in and he's interested in a Subaru, and the agent he's speaking to only deals with Fords. Well, anytime he can come in here, transfer the chat to the agent. He can also at any time, let's say if he's in this chat here and the customer says, well, I need you to talk to my wife, da, 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 and you'll say, what's the number? The customer will reply with the number. You can come in here to new customer chat, and you can start a chat with the wife or husband.
I love that feature. We can get on the phone right now. Let's go.
Yeah, you know, they never pitch the you know what, right?
Yeah.
All right, so moving on here, we have full agent management. Anytime you can come here and delete and add agents. So if I come here, click on Kimberly, see all her details. She would have her cell phone set up. Every single agent account, they can't use landlines. They all have to be cell phones because the system's all powered by mobile. Under chat management here, so let's go to one of our, like Chris Savino here. We'll check out his settings here. Now, anytime a chat comes in, he gets alerted by email. He gets alerted by text message. He can have these messages turned off if he's not online. And then you can also set the alerts for if he doesn't want to be bothered or not. So let's say you're tired of getting, every time the customer replies, you get a ding on your phone that the customer just replied. Well, sometimes they get irritating depending on your level of discomfort with it. But you can click on this, and it'll only send you an alert when that customer first texts in. If you're the type of person where you just ignore text messages or you ignore your emails, well, the fail-safe is you can have the system actually call you to tell you that a customer wants to talk to you.
Right.
Next is our ADF email settings. Like I said before, you can send the ADF to your CRM on reply yes, or after the chat session closed, or when the agent presses the button send to ADF. These settings here are the hours for the agent. He can come in here and set these at any time. He can turn them all off, turn them all on. It's all up to him. We have most agents do this on their own when they log into their own section, but on the first setup, we'll always set these up based on your store hours. Next, our customer management area. You can come in here, see all the details about the leads. Click on the icon here. I'll finish loading here, and you can see the full details about the lead here. Now, let's say if you happen to be on the desktop and you're speaking with a customer and you want to pass that over to either a service agent or a salesman as a hot lead, you just enter their email or cell, and that lead will be delivered to them instantaneously. We have full reporting. We have our chat widgets, text chat, and also web chat. We have a program called PC Chat, and what you do is install it on your PC, and anytime a chat comes through, you'll get notifications on the bottom here, and you can actually chat from a program within your computer. If you guys use Chrome, we have a program up here that, let's say if you're sitting here and you're browsing your competition or whatever, and a chat comes through, you'll get this big alert here, if you can see my mouse. This whole top section will turn red. It says you have a new text chat, and the arrow will point to this here, and you can start chatting with your customer within this panel. Next, we have our social tools. Anytime a text chat comes in, we put your Facebook information in here. That data about your customer can be sent to your Facebook audience. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is or not. What this allows you to do, once you build that audience, you now can send advertising to their wall. And they'll see that advertising live. So that's another cool feature that we offer. Our referral center here, all these settings for the referral program that we have. Let me see if I can get this. So after they complete the reputation, if the reputation was good that they've given you, we'll then send out an email and an SMS a couple of days later, and then come in here and they put their friends and family's information in, and you can run your contest. It could be $100 for every car your friends or family buys. Next is our reputation manager. You see here that they got heavy usage of this here, so it's probably going to take a minute to load. All right, so this is kind of what it looks like. I'll show you the process. I believe they have theirs on simple mode. So I'm going to show you normal mode and simple mode. In normal mode, like I said, they put in their feedback, all their information. How was your salesman? Was your salesman helpful? Blah, 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 blah. They see what their customer experience is. They enter their stars. And now this is not completely set up because they're using simple mode. But what that does, it'll filter it out and send them either sorry you had a bad experience, blah, 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 or it'll send them a link direct to, as soon as they click on the link, they're actually in the position to start leaving a feedback for Google. They don't have to log in or anything. It's ready to go. And I'll show you the easy mode here. Now, when this is sent out, we already sent out their full name and phone, so this wouldn't even appear here. It was just one question. Would you recommend All-American Ford Old Bridge? If they say yes, this next link over is right to Google. If they click on this, then it says, we apologize, your experience was unsatisfactory. How can we improve? They put this in there, bam, it goes to the salesman. Now, you see here, we interjected in the whole process, because now we're giving that person a chance to vent right here because they had a bad experience. They're more apt not to go to Google to leave a bad experience on Google. So back to the system here. We have a staff notifier, so if you guys have a huge staff and you guys want to send out text notifications of events or meetings that are happening in your store or someplace else, events, you can use the staff notifier to do that. We have an inventory chat system which essentially creates keywords for all your cars. And this is our mobile application setup here. This is where we can do our push notifications. We can set all our app links, all our app icons, set up our geofencing. I'll show you what one of these looks like. So if I zoom out here, you'll see here this particular store set up the Dodge competitor, and they set up a 1,000-meter radius, which is like a mile. So anytime someone's traveling down the expressway here, they're going to get something on their phone. But what's cool is they're going to get a push notification automatically, but you can set those limits. So if you're someone that, let's say you're working and you drive back and forth like 10 times a day, well, that's going to get kind of irritating in all these push notifications. So you can set the limitations of how many times that'll actually fire per day, per week, per month.
Perfect.
And then, like I said, you can come in here, set up your keywords. So if you guys are running any events, recently we had one recently by my state fair here. I had a couple clients that were there, and they were using some keywords to do some advertising. And it was a great way to build an SMS list, because our system also does mass SMS as well. And that pretty much is some of the most basic stuff within our system. I know at first glance it probably looks like a lot of stuff, but in most cases, the most important thing that you're going to use here is the text chat. Do you have any questions at this point?
No, it pretty much works as I hope it would anyway. I don't have any questions as of yet.
Okay. Do you have any questions for John?
Is it? I know I'm not looking at the actual interface on your phone, but is it bone stupid simple?
Yeah, it's here. I'll show you. This is as difficult as it gets right here. So let me go to this customer's chat. I'll go into mobile mode, and that's it. So they're going to get a text that says, "A customer at this phone number wants to chat with you. Here's the link." You know, they click the link. The agent will come in here and say, okay, this person's opted in. His first question was, "I'm interested in a lease on the Outback 3.6R. Okay, great. Glad you like that car. It is available. Da 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 da. And they come in here, click send message. That's it. And every time that customer replies, like I said, it's all based on their notification settings. They're either going to get an email or they're going to get an SMS when they reply. So SMS versus web chat. Web chat, person's on your website, they want instant attention. There's no please hold for an operator. Text chat, obviously you have to respond pretty quickly before they lose interest. But you do have that window where you can engage in a conversation over a couple days and the customer is comfortable with it.
And I got to add this too. It's a much higher closing ratio on a text chat than any sort of web chat. Right?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, plus around here, all because there's so many government offices and privacy is such a big thing, is that they are skeptical to do anything on their work computer, or even for that much, they'd rather do it on their work phone, which I guess is not monitored as strictly. And honestly, that's what I need, because my ability to get a hold of these customers that are in government buildings and in these federal agencies, it's getting more difficult by the month.
I presume that you always have access to their phone number, right? You always have their cell phone.
Yeah, because don't forget, once they go to our website and once they text us, bam, I'm in. Right.
And if you ever run across somebody too, let's say that maybe somebody referred somebody that's interested in buying a car. Well, if they want to engage only in text with you, because there's people that are shy. They don't like talking to salesmen face-to-face or on the phone. It's high pressure. So what they'll do is they rather engage via text. You can come in here, enter their phone number, enter their name, and then they'll get a message that says, so-and-so at All American Old Bridge would like to chat with you via text. If you agree, reply yes. So now you're engaging in the text chat.
Yep, exactly. Okay, good.
And when somebody actually hits the link, too, they tend to be more serious. They're giving you an authorization to text. So the closing ratio on a lead on the website, on a text chat, we're running about, 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 turns into a closed deal. Web chat, they're not going to right?
25%?
Yeah, 25%. For every 4 you'll get. Now, you won't get a lot of time wasters, right? With a web chat, typically, they're not committed. They have, they can go on an hour with you and not give you any sort of information to even contact them. But with a text chat lead, outside of a dealership walk-in, a text chat lead is the highest close ratio. Now, that's on the sales end. I encourage you to, as Ed referred to this, on the service side of things, to also run a text chat system. Now, we call it service text chat. We never like to mix it up with sales. It's an entirely different function in service, right? In service, it's a communication, and it really is a sales tool. It's also a covering tool. You mentioned it's tough to get guys on the phone. It's tougher in service, right?
Exactly.
You got a car torn down, and you get voicemail, and nobody answers, and now you're tied up. they'll typically answer text, and the neat thing is, and I was just inside a dealership showing them this, because you do have to show them this is a little bit different than kind of what they're normally used to. But the service advisor with that torn down vehicle can literally take his phone, take some pictures of the vehicle torn down, send that with his text note with an update. Hey, this is the service that we recommend. This is the condition of the vehicle. Here's the price. A few things happen then. One is you pretty much get a response right away. It's not like voicemail where somebody might not check it for hours. And two, you've got a record of the entire conversation. Typically the person will say yes, and it's much easier sale when they can actually see something in a text. But if they say no, you've got a record they decline that service. So if anything happens down the road, customer can't come back and say, well, you never told me I needed this or that. It's already archived. It's already there. They also can't...
Let me ask you a question, then. So in other words, the customer's trying to get a hold of their service advisor.
Yep.
Do they already have a number, or let's say I put somebody out this morning and I need some brake work done. The customer's trying to get a hold of me to see if it's done. How would the customer get a hold of me?
Well, typically what would happen is that write-up period, the service advisor would typically ask, how do you want to communicate? And they say by text. He types in the authorization, and then boom, they're in the system. He can get to them at any time. They can get to him at any time.
The other option.
Let me ask you a question.
The other option, let me interject here real quick, is that you can set up a keyword for each individual service rep, and if they want to talk directly to that rep, they can text a keyword like Frank to 69696, and they can start communicating directly with Frank.
Exactly. Okay, good. That was my other question. Perfect. Okay. So that way they can have personal contact with their service advisor and vice versa. Perfect.
Exactly, and you don't have to worry about that telephone again.
Right, because our service department is really busy, and the number one complaint is I can't get a hold of them.
Yep.
Versus if they're sitting there on text, it should be spontaneous, but at least the service advisor can be aware that somebody's trying to get a hold of them instead of seeing a bunch of red lights blinking on his phone.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and I'll be the first one to say that I actually purchased a new car via text from a dealership close to me. And
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, I bought the whole car via text. I sent the docs via text. Everything for it. The only time I spoke to the actual salesman was I was signing on the dotted line.
You were ahead of your time, sir.
I
would truly love to get it to that point.
That's what we do here.
Good.
So, and to your other point, for the operator, it's extremely simple. As Ed said, it flashes up on their phone. They fill in the box. They've got a dialogue. Now, you can actually set yourself up as monitoring to see that, just to make sure things are answered on time. You can kind of look into that conversation at any point in time. But for the actual actual person answering the text, it's really simple.
Yeah, and you will.
Is there like a report page so I can see who's answering text, who's not?
Yeah, you get sent a report.
Who's kind of tardy?
Every single morning when you walk in your office, should be an email sitting in your email box, and it'll have all the details about all the text chats that happened the day before. And you can go in there and just click on View Chat, View Chat, View Chat. What's also cool about that feature that John mentioned about where you can actually kind of like oversee everything on all the text chats that are going on live as they happen, is you can kind of like gauge like the etiquette of text. There is an etiquette there when it comes to text messaging, especially with a salesman. If I'm engaging your dealership via text from your website, I want to talk to you via text. The response from an agent should never be, hey, thanks for texting us. I'm going to call you right now.
You're laughing, but I've been at this a long time, and I've been monitoring things, and I hate to tell you how many times that happens, especially in a dealership just new to this. And then they usually a pretty pointed response in text back from the customer saying, no, I texted you. I'm in my cubicle. I cannot call you.
Exactly. Once again, especially around here with all these government offices. Exactly. They just can't talk. So, yeah, I know. Well, we have that quite a bit here. I mean, that's one of the things we teach in our BDC for sure. You know, you got to communicate back to the same way they communicate to you. Absolutely. Okay.
Cool. If you have any other questions, I'll send you my email. What email? Oh, actually, I got your email here inside GoToWebinar. Is it Let me just verify.
Send it to my Oarsman email. JOEL at oarsmanchevrolet.com.
Oarsman Chevrolet.
And can you send me like a little synopsis of how the program works? I need to pass it on to my counterparts.
Sure, I'll have Roy. He's
Mind
your,
you, I might need to lean on you to give this whole seminar again. I want to see if I can get as many people in the room as possible, so that you don't have to do it 4 or 5 times. But each store acts independently. To give you some inside baseball stuff, Chris Oarsman took over for his father, and he's buying up dealerships with reckless abandon. So far we got 13. So what we're trying to do is bring everything under the same house. Like same operating procedures.
Sure.
Same structures and everything else. So
Has
this is what this whole thing is about.
expansion been like real recent, or has it been like ongoing for like several years?
No, it's past 2 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, he bought the stores in Bethesda, which is a Volkswagen and a Volvo dealership. He bought the ones in Frederick, Maryland, which is an Audi, Lincoln, and what else is there up there? Audi, Lincoln, Volvo. That's another Volvo. Then you got the one in Laurel, which is a Mitsu, Mazda, and Hyundai. And the one thing I was trying to convince everybody is that we got so many different franchises. We don't all communicate to the Chevy customer the same way you do the Volvo customer. Mm-hmm. So like we need tools that would allow us to really communicate back to the customer the way they prefer to be. So that's my pitch going into it. Just to the point where we need to be ahead of the curve for at least once in our lives.
Yeah, and I think bringing in one text chat system to consolidate all the stores into one, I think that'd be a huge help for you guys when it comes to your communication. At least you'll solve one aspect of that problem you guys are having.
Right, especially when it's only about one person that controls it. They hired somebody named Neil Colpit to control our corporate messages, our advertising, and everything else. So everything is not under the Oarsman name, but I guess that should happen in the next year and a half or so.
Are you the decision maker? Sorry, are you the decision maker for just your one dealership, or both? Correct. Or the other one too?
Well, just this one and the Mitsubishi one.
Gotcha.
But then again, I want to get them all because it's one of them things whereas they always want to experiment. But I know we've been trying to find a text program for the past year. So when I first saw your program, I was skeptical. Well, I saw it about 6 months ago. And then I guess Roy kept sending me emails, and I said, let me check it out. That's how the whole thing really kicked into high gear. And plus, we just had a conversation about 2 weeks ago about, it just needs to be something we really focus on for 2017.
Yeah, it definitely is the right direction.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah, all the dealers nowadays, they're all moving mobile.
That sounds great, and actually, that's what All American has, like 8 stores. It's the same way. We could set up one white label under oarsmantext.com, and then each store would have their discrete dashboard and system, so everything would be talking to the same page. Right,
because right now it's just a question of we all have the same set of problems right now. So we all, like I said, we all talk quite a bit. So we're looking for some solutions.
Yeah, and we won't get into it right now, but coming down the road here, probably in the next 30 days, is we're launching our beacons. I don't know if you're familiar how beacons work, but first off, we have this app coming out. It's called AtLot, and it's essentially an app for your porters. For those dealerships that have very huge lots and those porters, they get lost trying to find cars sometimes. Well, they'll be able to find it with the geo-tracking device.
Oh, I got you.
So there'll be no running around the dealership looking for the white Taurus when there's 50 white Tauruses sitting on a lot.
Well, let me tell you, we got 700 cars in this lot now, so trust me, he would totally believe it.
And then for the other one, we have another system coming out for beacons where you can place beacons in your store. For those customers that come in on a Sunday, you put a beacon by each car. When they approach that car, their phone will instantly ding with a soft notification, and then get all the details.
Get the hell out of here! Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So the stuff we've got coming is pretty amazing.
That's good.
It's all proximity marketing. You're gonna love some of the beacon stuff.
Okay, good. All right, let's talk about next step. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Neil sometime this afternoon. So what I want to do is get you and Neil talking, because he's the one that basically going to decide whether to go to all the stores. As far as this store, it's a little bit different. It's a I don't say it's a no-brainer, but I like to have everybody on the same page. I don't want to move ahead of them.
Is that something you guys have planned to do another webinar this week, or would it be like early next week when you get everybody together at one time?
Well, I got to talk to Neil first, because I know he got some people on vacations. So since he's the one that's going to make the decision for that store, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I hate to say it like that, but it really doesn't.
Okay. Well, we're more than happy to hop on another call with you guys anytime.
Okay. Send me the contact information, and I'll touch base with you one way or another tomorrow.
Okay, and it's joel@oarsmanchevrolet.com.
Correct.
All right, man. All right, we'll see you on the next call.
All right, very
guys.
good.
Talk to you later.
All right.